You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
Well, good evening, Radio 1 listeners. Thank you for tuning in to The Lyndia Grant Show. Today is Friday, November 21st, week before Thanksgiving. And I wanted to celebrate again National Diabetes Month. We had Dr. Gail Nunley Bland from Howard University last week, and this week we're going to have Dr. Sherita H. Golden. She is a diabetes professor at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine. She'll be talking about the GLPs, like Ozempic and Wegovy and the others. But now let's go to Dr. Julianne Malvo to talk to us about politics. It's a lot going on, Dr. J. What's going on?
Well, there's an awful lot going on. We record on Tuesdays, and today the Congress, 427 of them, voted for the Epstein Files Transparency Act. This has been an issue. It's been raging for weeks, even months. In fact, Lil Mike Johnson sent Congress home to do district work because he didn't want to have a vote on the Epstein files. He refused to swear in a woman from Arizona who was duly elected. He had kept her waiting for over a month to be elected because he knew that she was going to be the vote that said, let's release the Epstein files. Now, as we know, last week, Sunday, that man who lives in a house that enslaved people built started telling people, well, yeah, let's let it all get out. But he fought that for weeks. The reason why he said let it all get out is because people were saying, we go let it all get out. You know, if you are in the back of a parade and you wanted to get some star power, you walk to the front of the parade and say, oh, I called this parade. Well, he didn't call the parade, and the parade has left him, but that's neither here nor there. He had three Republicans very strongly wanted this to come to a vote. His best friend, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and he fell out. Nancy Mace fell out. Boebert fell out. Massey from Tennessee fell out. So it's really fascinating. He's losing basically energy, and people are like, what? And the women, if you watch CNN or any of the other news outlets, the women who were abused by Jeffrey Epstein, they told harrowing and really heartbreaking stories about how they were groomed when they were 13 and 14 years old. Wow. I mean, they were children. Some of them were 20 and 21. Okay, they had better sense, but that's not the point. The point is that Epstein was a pedophile. Anytime you get a 13-year-old girl, that's a pedophile.
That's right.
And he was a pedophile. He was convicted. He committed suicide. But people want to know who else was involved. Many people don't think that Trump was involved, but who was he protecting then? So now they're saying, well, we want to get all the Democrats. They called a list of names. Clinton and other Democrats, and say we want to see if they were involved with Epstein also. Well, go on with your bad selves and do that. But the fact is that the law passed. The Senate, now in the Congress, what they did is they did a roll call. So you know who voted for it, who didn't. In the Senate, they did it by affirmation. So the ayes had it, but nobody had to go on the record. So the Senate passed it. No one had to go on the record. And that's interesting because who are these people trying to protect? What do they think is going on? But in any case, there you have it. They say the president said he would sign it if it came to his desk. It's coming to his desk. The question will be whether or not he'll sign it. Now, while Congress is having a victory lap, this president is entertaining a murderer as we speak on Tuesday evening. He has a crown prince of Saudi Arabia. His actual name, I have to write it down because it's long. His actual name is Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdullah Aziz Al Saud. Crown Prince. There's a state dinner going on Tuesday evening. And basically, he is responsible for the death. The United Nations found responsible for the death of Jamal Khashoggi, who was a Washington Post reporter. Why would such a person be entertained high level at the house that enslaved people built?
With pomp and circumstance too.
Yeah, with high pomp and circumstance. And here's the
Hmm.
answer. Just like Saudi Arabia, the United States is an oligarchy, but we're
Hmm.
supposed to be a democracy. What do I mean by that? This man will probably get a free plane from the Saudis, and it will cost us millions to retrofit it to
Hmm.
our security standards. His son-in-law, Jared, has many contracts over there, and we don't know who else does. So basically, they're using U.S. diplomacy as a piggy bank.
Hmm.
This is oligarchy at its absolute worst. Now, let me pivot from that for a second to talk about a movement that's brewing that I'm very excited about. Latasha Brown, what's her name? Tamika Mallory, Until Freedom, Black Voters Matter. They're saying don't spend any money from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. So I'm telling y'all this now.
Hmm.
Don't spend any money from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. Why? Black Friday is when businesses make a profit. Most businesses clear their profit at the end of the year. And what these sisters are saying is let's take our $1.7 trillion economy someplace else.
Hmm.
Our spending fuels the economy. When we don't spend, the economy doesn't grow. And we as Black people are spenders. So I'm just saying, y'all, think about it now and make sure that those 4 days, just those 4 days,
Hmm.
stay out of the big box stores, the Best Buys, the Targets, and find a way to buy Black. That's what
Yeah.
they're asking us to do, to buy Black. And if you go to the
Hmm.
DC area, Juanita Britton has her Busy Bee at Shiloh. Go online and check it out. They have such great stuff there. But better still, I love Juanita. We want her to be well, do well. Also, how about trying not buying anything at all?
Hmm.
Where the economy is right now, keep your money in your pocket. That
And
is
and
other.
let me just say that's the 28th, the day after Thanksgiving, Friday, then Saturday the 29th, Sunday the 30th, and Monday the 1st too. Is that included?
Yes, because the first is Cyber Monday, where
Okay.
they're encouraging you to buy stuff online. So
Hmm.
they're saying, no, don't buy nothing online. And
Hmm.
they, spending shoots up in that time period. So no, we want people to stay home. We
Yes.
really want people to stay home. Now let's talk for a minute about ICE.
Hmm.
They are in North Carolina. They've been showing their behinds in North Carolina. Josh Stein, the governor, is a Democrat. He says he doesn't want them there. And if you look at the demographic breakdown of North Carolina, Charlotte is the first place they went. Charlotte is majority minority, 33% Black, 17% Latino. So majority minority. They went to Charlotte. They messed with people. They arrested people. One man said he was closing his bakery until they left because he didn't want to make his customers vulnerable. Raleigh, which is a state capital, is 27% Black, 12% Latino. So not as heavily minority as Charlotte, but still heavily minority. They're in Raleigh on Tuesday and Wednesday, doing the same thing they were doing in Charlotte. And of course, in Greensboro, where I used to spend a lot of time, Greensboro is also another city that's majority minority. They haven't gone to Greensboro yet, but I don't know why they picked these places, except for the picking at Democratic governors. And
Hmm.
Josh Stein, of course, is a Democratic governor, just like the governor of Illinois. So they're going after these governors, and these places have heavy Black concentrations, Black
Hmm.
and brown. They're
Yes.
more focused on the brown, but quite frankly, they'll pick up anybody. We've heard
Hmm.
these stories about people being picked up, and it's really horrible. Okay, how much time do I have?
About 3 more minutes.
Oh, goody, goody. So I want to talk a bit about COP30. It's the climate change conference that's happening in Brazil right now. Um, it's called the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. They deal with migration, emissions, and adaptation. By adaptation, they mean how quickly and with the least amount of damage can the economy and the people there adapt. What we see in Brazil, as an example, and it's a really startling example, we're seeing deforestation. In other words, the forests are disappearing. We
Hmm.
see land losses and we see flooding. Um, it is determined that we are in a climate crisis. And a lot of people are climate deniers, but here's what we do know. We're not getting much snow this year and haven't gotten it here in DC in 5 years. That's part of climate change. Now, some of us don't mind not having snow until we look at the whole ecosystem and say, what is this meaning? This climate change is not race neutral. It hits the hardest to the poorest countries. So we're looking at Brazil. Let's look at the African continent as an example. In Africa, we are responsible for only 4% of the emissions, but we absorb more than a third of the effect of climate change. And we could go country by country to look at this. So COP30, I went to COP15, by the way, in Copenhagen. I wonder if it's still as cold there as it was when I went there 15 years ago, but that's neither here nor there. But basically, this conference in Brazil is going until today, Friday, the 21st. We will not know what happened. We know that some reports are being written. The tension always, Lyndia, is that the developed countries want to keep it the way it is. But they've been the ones, us, the United States, some of the European countries, we've been polluting, and this affected the environment, and we don't want to own it. So we come into other countries saying, well, you have to cut back your emissions, and they could easily say to us, well, what about yours? Because we really, frankly, are in a pickle. The Arctic is defrosting.
Amen.
And that's what's going on.
All right.
COP30 in Brazil, follow it, people, because when you follow it, you'll understand it's not just about us, it's about our grandchildren. So that's it for me today. I think, Lyndia, I've been cut off on time. I got 4 more things, but I'm not going to do it with them.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Julian. That was great. Thank you so much. We're going to go to our commercial break, and we'll talk to you next week.
If it wasn't for my care coach at AmeriHealth, I probably wouldn't be so healthy right now. As a man, we don't get checkups or see a doctor regularly anyways. It's probably just a man thing because none of my partners go either. We know we should, but we just don't, and hope it works out.
So what changed for you?
AmeriHealth assigned me a care coach, somebody that gives one-on-one help, answer questions, explain things, and help set my appointments. She also helped me understand what having high blood pressure really means and ways to manage it so it doesn't kill me. It ain't nothing to play with. If you're a member of AmeriHealth, ask for a care coach. I'm glad I got mine.
At AmeriHealth, if you need a care coach, you can have one. Just call us at 1-877-759-6224 to get connected. 1-877-759-6224. This program is funded in part by the government of the District of Columbia Department of Healthcare Finance. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Washington and former religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated Montgomery bus. In lectures on brotherhood, Ms. Parks often said, "People always say that I didn't give up my seat because I was tired." But that wasn't true. I was not tired physically. I was not old. I was 42. No, the only tired I was tired of giving in. Driven out of Montgomery by harassment and death threats, Detroit, Michigan became her new home. Rosa Parks will always be remembered as the mother of the civil rights movement. Raised in the AME church, she once said, "I remember finding such comfort and peace while reading the Bible."
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at washingtoninformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information.
This is Frank Smith with the African American Civil War Museum in Washington, D.C., located at 1925 Vermont Avenue Northwest on the Green Line. Did you know that a recent study found that children who visit museums do better in school and in life than children who do not? So parents, teachers, and preachers, let's get moving. I promise you, if you bring your children to the African American Civil War Museum, they will be inspired by the images that they see. They will be impressed by our living history reenactors who are always available, and they will be involved in our scavenger hunt that takes them throughout our exhibit. That's the African American Civil War Museum, 1925 Vermont Avenue. Our hours are 10 to 6:30 on weekdays, 12 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. See it, be inspired.
Thank you for tuning in to the Lyndia Grant Show. Now we're going to go to our second guest. We're happy to be here on Radio 1. And I have had Dr. Sherita Hill Golden on my show several times. And I am so pleased that was able to come back with us again today. I first met her when she was the head of the diabetes department, endocrinology not Howard. I'm always talking to Dr. Gail Nunley Bland from Howard, but you two are my main doctors. But I was talking to her when she was the head of it. Now she is a professor that teaches diabetes at Johns Hopkins University. So let's just go to Dr. Sherita Hill Golden's. Today, we're going to be talking about GLP-1 agonists and the benefits in treating diabetes. So, Dr. Bland, can you talk about the benefits of some of the new classes of medications like the GLP-1 agent Ozempic, which I'm on, in the management of diabetes?
Yes, and so I'm Dr. Golden, and Dr. Bland, Nunley Bland is a very good close colleague of mine. So I know we
Good.
may mix up names, but those agents really have three benefits. One is that they improve blood glucose control, and they also promote weight loss, which the weight loss itself will also improve diabetes control. And then the other benefit is that three of the agents in this class, Ozempic, Trulicity, and Victoza, they all lower the risk of heart attacks, which is actually the leading cause of death in people living with diabetes. So a great benefit in multiple arenas.
That is good news because I started taking it a year ago. I learned how to control it, like you said, with diet and exercise. But because of my busy schedule, my doctor said even when you don't eat enough, there's a problem. Because I passed out for the first time at my national convention for my sorority because I hadn't been eating that day properly. And it was just too many. It was the first time in 74 years of my life that I ever fainted, but I did.
Right,
So it
right.
scared me. And I said, well, can I have Ozempic? And he said, yes, you're diabetic. You're eligible. So I'm hoping you're getting some good news out. So go ahead.
Right. And one other thing that that medicines like Ozempic do is it lowers the risk of developing kidney complications from diabetes. So,
Oh my goodness.
reducing the amount of protein leakage and reducing the progression of kidney disease. So they actually benefit a lot of aspects of diabetes, not just the blood sugar. So that's what makes them so
Oh
beneficial.
my gosh, this is so good because my mom, remember, she was having even dialysis, everything.
Yes,
She had
yes,
nothing
yes,
back then because
yes,
that was 2000. When
yes, it
she first
was.
had her stroke in 1985, she went to Howard University Hospital. None of this stuff existed.
No, and these are very recent developments in the last, 15 years or so, and it
Uh-huh.
really has revolutionized what we can do for diabetes.
Wonderful. Talk about something that's such a phenomenon. How can weight loss drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound complement
Mhm.
lifestyle changes?
So what
Talk
they
about it
do,
for non-diabetics and diabetics. And the reason
yes.
why is the whole world is trying to get on here to look good again.
Right, right. So I want to make a couple of points. Let's talk about for non-diabetes first, because if you have overweight or obesity, you can develop pre-diabetes. So
Hmm.
you want to be able to lose that weight so that you can lower your risk of actually developing type 2 diabetes. So I want to emphasize that it is still really important to engage in exercise and healthy eating. Like I go to Pilates 3 mornings a week. I walk. So exercise is really important.
Hmm.
And then, so these drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound are approved for use for weight loss, even in people who don't have diabetes. And they're a complement to the lifestyle changes because I think what a lot of people will do is they want to go on a medication, but they want to stop doing the other things. But it's
Hmm.
really important if you're taking these medications for weight loss, you got to maintain your muscle mass and your muscle
Yes.
strength. So you need to walk, you need to be, doing some weight bearing exercises. So
Hmm.
it's really important that you don't just throw, your exercise out the window
Mhm.
because you're taking one of these medications for weight loss. And the other thing I would say is that, what the way that these medications work for weight loss is they reduce your appetite. So what's really important is when you do eat, you want to make sure you're eating healthy things like your lean protein, your fruits and vegetables,
Mhm.
all of those things. So those recommendations are still things that we recommend be followed, even if you're taking those medications just for weight loss.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
I,
can I
I
add one thing, Miss Lyndia? I think
uh-huh.
it's really important. If you go to a lot of places, like even like one of the places where I go get a manicure, they have a sign that says, if you'd like to lose weight, we can, start you on a GLP-1 agent to help you lose weight. But you need to make sure these are being overseen by a doctor or a clinician who has expertise. Please don't go online and sign up for things. This should really be done in conjunction with your physician because any medication is going to have side effects.
Oh my gosh, because I've been seeing that and wondering the same thing because I don't need it, but I'm just saying it's becoming
Hmm.
so popular. My goddaughter works at NIH and
Hmm.
she said that there are a lot of medications going to be coming out, are coming out, like
Yes.
Ozempic, because everybody's competitive because of the weight loss. And
Hmm.
so I saw some where where they just come to your computer saying you could get something like Ozempic and two or three hundred
Hmm.
dollars or low prices, $50, whatever. I
Hmm.
just wondered about their safety. So I'm glad you said that. I hope people will pay attention. And if you do want it for something other than weight loss, please try to get it from someone that's reputable, right? A doctor,
Right.
not
Well, I would
like a
say
drug market.
yeah, even if you're using it for weight loss. So if you're using it for weight loss or for the treatment of diabetes, you want to do all of that
Yes,
under the care of your doctor.
exactly.
So there are programs where you can get the medication at a reduced price through some of the companies that make the medications, but they're going to all recommend that you're taking those medications under the guidance of a doctor.
What is new coming down the pipe for diabetes and for weight management?
So what's coming down the pike are now, all the forms except for one that we currently have for these GLP-1 agents, they're all injections that you inject under the skin. And what's new is there are two new oral GLP-1 agents that they just published results on these studies in the New England Journal of Medicine that improve glucose control and also promote weight loss. And again,
Mhm.
this is like a pill that you would take once a day. So they are still awaiting approval from the FDA, but the results of those studies have recently been published. So that's what's new coming down the pike is you might be
So
able to
a
take these
pill in
a
lieu of the
pill
shot.
in lieu of the shot. Yes, yes,
Okay, well,
that's the newest
but
development.
the shot is so simple. It's not like a shot when the doctors give you medication. It's a longer
Right. It's
needle,
a very small needle. So if you
tiny.
take it with a needle or with a pen, it's very, very tiny.
Yes,
A lot of us think about needles. We think about like our flu shot where they're sticking that needle in the
it
muscle
does
and you have
not hurt at
pain for
all, Dr.
it's
Bland.
very right. It is a
You
very
don't
small
feel it.
needle.
You really
Right.
don't.
Right
And
under the skin.
I tell
Hmm.
people that, but my granddaughter say no, grandma. She doesn't want to hear it. But I'm
Right.
just thankful that I don't feel any pain, doesn't cause any blood or any of that kind of thing.
Right. And there's some people that no matter what the medication is, whether it's a GLP-1 or insulin for diabetes, they're like, I'm not taking a needle. So for some people that really do have needle phobia and are afraid of needles, these oral options may be an option for them in the future.
Okay, well, we talked about the GLP. Now, just to review, because this is going to be my last show, would you just talk about what people do that are not on GLPs, just the general public? Just
Hmm.
remind them. We all
Hmm.
know three things, but still, tell us again.
Right. So it's really important to exercise. It's recommended 150 minutes a week. So that's like 30 minutes 5 times a week. And I would say find something that you enjoy that you can do consistently. So I always joke with people, you don't have to get a fancy gym membership. It can be as simple as walking in your neighborhood, for 30 minutes a day. But again, that exercise is really important. For those of us who are older, I don't call it older, I call it wiser. And I count myself in that group. When you're walking, you can get your weight bearing in by walking with hand weights, for example. So these are really good ways. And then again, you want to remember with your diet that you want to make sure you're having your 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. I'm a big fan of the plate method. So half your plate is fresh fruits and vegetables, a fistful of a starch, preferably something that's high in fiber, like brown rice, and then a fistful of lean meat. So those are really important things that we need to think about. And that the holidays are coming up. It's very tempting to eat and eat and eat. But again, being mindful of your portion sizes. And if you're like, I really want that pecan pie, because I know I will want a piece of pecan pie, then you can decide I'm not going to eat the roll. So, you kind of exchanging one carbohydrate for the other. Like you don't have to have it all at the same time.
Amen. That is so good. I just want to say, because I was rushing today, getting ready for my new podcast that I don't mind the listeners knowing I'm starting my podcast, and I had not eaten, and I remembered when I passed out from not eating, so I said, let me eat something. So I cut up an apple and ate it, and I ate a yogurt. I'm going to boil 2 eggs, and then that'll help me make it.
Right.
So later I can have a sandwich with some lettuce, and so I know what to do. But thank you for being my guest today, and I appreciate you so much.
Okay, it's good to see you, and have a good holiday if I don't talk to you.
All right. Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving to you. That concludes the Lyndia Grant Show for this week. Good day.
Thank you for listening to the Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.
Washington Informer religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
And that day came. I wonder if there are any of us who have any real idea about how despairing many are today. Do you have any concept at all of how hopeless life appears to be for many young people in our day? On every side, there are troubles, and they don't know where to turn. They find no sense of meaning to life. There are not merely passing fancies. They are conditions under which some live all the time without a ray of hope. Invite your friends to worship service. That'll help them. I feel strongly that we need to lift up our voices on these matters because God will be the light that will shine in those dark places.
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at WashingtonInformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information.